afternoon po, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's begin.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon po, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Okay, Karil, lead us in prayer, please.
Okay po. Let's pray. Most powerful and loving God, we praise you, we adore you, we glorify you. We give you thanks for your abounding goodness and generosity despite our unworthiness. Today, O God, in a most special way, we ask for your grace to sustain us and inspire us to do and fulfill our tasks relevant to our studies. The classroom setting now may be more challenging as we do not get to be together physically and the delivery mode of learning is virtually. But with you on our side, we will be able to carry this out. Help us, O God, to be honest and responsible students. May your goodness and generosity continue to strengthen us to shun away evils and temptations and inspire us to cling unto what is right and good. We unceasingly pray for all the sick, the burdened, and for all who are suffering because of COVID-19. We sincerely pray too for our continued protection, safety, and wellness, O God. We pray all this in your most holy name. Amen.
Okay, thank you, Karil. All right. Okay, this time let's have the Arabic prayer. Mm.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wal barakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin.
Okay, so we are to continue our discussion. We're through with Up on the Wall, right? Okay, give me a thumbs up if we're through or done with that. Okay, so last time we discussed a poem entitled Up on the Wall, okay, which illustrated the relationship of a father to his son. Okay, although the scene or the setting of the story happened during the martial law days, but what we what is important is that we have learned from that poem that he, our relationship with our Father, we should recognize them as someone to look up to, someone to be respected, and as children, we must take note of the values or learnings they have inculcated to us. Now we are to read another story, okay, Flowers in the Crypt. If Up on the Wall is a poem, and if Daddy Like Kiss with Heart is a hypertext poem, this time we'll discuss a creative non-fiction. Now you check this story on page 34. Okay, open your book on page 34. Okay, to access the story Flowers in the Crypt by Katharina Garcia Dyer. Okay, before anything else, let us try to Google the meaning of the following words. We have pallid, harbored, coagulated, mock, eulogy, crypt, creative nonfiction, incessant, and nonchalant. Okay, now this time, after looking for the meaning of the following words, try to use each in a sentence. So this is our first written work. Number one, vocabulary for the second quarter, and this is equivalent to 20 points. Yes, there are only 9 numbers, so 9 times 2 that is 18, but I'm going to give you 2 additional points to make it 20. Okay, so bring out your notebook, your electronic pad, and try to look or try to Google the meaning of the following words. Okay, tell me if you're through, huh? Just give me a thumbs up if you're through. Okay, so Julian is already through. Okay, Jillian Buna, please don't forget to write 20 over 20 in today's written work number 1 plus the date today, okay? Since you're already through. Okay, Mikhail also. Okay, please don't forget to write 20 over 20, then written work number 1 and the date today, October 19, 2020. Okay, so that when you upload it in our SHS portfolio, maayos na. Okay? So Patron is not yet around. Patron is absent. All right. Sige. So let us discuss. Okay, there are 9 vocabulary from the story Flowers in the Grape by Caterina Garcia Tarion. And you were asked to Google or to look for the meaning of the following words. Then be sure to use each in a sentence. You will not be able to get 20 over 20, not unless you're able to use each of the words in a sentence. Okay? Sige. Let's start with pallid. Nicole, what do you mean by pallid?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay.
Valid. Babasahin ko po yung sentence ko.
Yes, give the meaning first and then your sentence.
Yung pallid po is pale or typical because of poor health.
Okay.
Pale po. And then yung sentence ko is his frowning face was pallid and quivered.
Okay, so pallid is another term for pale, and the paleness of a person or the pallidness of a person signifies that he is sick, okay, or has poor health. So pallid means pale. Thank you, Nicole. Jillian, what about you? What do you mean by harbored? Mhm. Okay, what is harbored, Jillian? Okay.
Ma'am, ako po.
Yes, Jillian Buna.
Okay po.
Okay, go.
Meaning of harbored is keeping a thought or a feeling typically negative in one's mind. So yung sentence po is, she started to harbor doubts about the wisdom of their journey.
Okay, so harbored means to keep. Okay, thank you, Jillian. Now next, Gaius, where are you? Iho? Saw you a while ago. Okay, Gaius, can you please give the meaning of the third word? Coagulated.
Means of a fluid, especially blood, changed to a solid or semi-solid state.
Okay, thank you. Gaius, can you please use that in a sentence? So coagulated is the stiffening or the hardening of something fluid. Okay, something that is liquid.
So blood had coagulated around the edges of the gush.
Okay, thank you, Vicente. Now let's hear from John Wilson. Next word, please.
Ano po yung word?
Muck, M-U-C-K, number 4.
Muck. So, yung definition po is dirt, rubbish, or waste matter.
Okay, so muck means dirt or rubbish or waste. Okay, go.
Sentence.
Sentence.
After he played in the muddy yard, the boys' boots covered with muck.
Okay, thank you. Wilson, so muck means dirt, waste. Next, Angelo. Next word, incessant. Okay, so be sure to finish it, huh? Okay, go. Jeric, would you like to give a sentence using incessant? Jeric Ladra.
Ano po ma'am, the incessant beat of the music is awesome.
Okay, so thank you. So incessant means continuous. Thank you, Jeric and Rosiliosa. Okay, next card, Aspera. What about the next word, eulogy? What do you mean by eulogy?
Eulogy, ma'am. A speech or piece of writing that praises something highly, especially some
One who is dead. Okay, can you please use eulogy in a sentence, card?
I made eulogy for my friend.
Okay. Thank you, Carl. Next, script. Okay, Nathaniel.
Yung crypt po.
Yes.
Okay. Crypt. An underground room or vault beneath a church used as a chapel or burial place.
Okay, so crypt means a burial place. Can you please use it in a sentence, Nathaniel?
Uh, vault used as a chapel. Yesterday, when we when yeah, yesterday when we are exploring uh the yesterday when we were exploring a church, we saw a crypt.
Okay, a crypt or space under the church. Okay, thank you, Nathaniel, for trying. Next, nonchalant, Adrian, Mayo. What do you mean by nonchalant?
Nonchalant, feeling or appearing calm or relaxed, not showing
Okay,
any kind of interest or enthusiasm.
okay, no reaction at all, not interested. Okay, calm, very calm. Can you please use it in a sentence, Adrian?
Uh, he, he,
Nonchalant.
gave, he gave a nonchalant shrug.
Okay, parang ganun lang. Wala lang. Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Adrian. Next, last one is creative nonfiction. What is creative nonfiction? Kyle, David,
Uh, Creative nonfiction is a genre of writing that uses literary styles and techniques to create factually accurate narratives.
okay, thank you, Kyle. So creative nonfiction is actually a combination of being creative and being factual at the same time. It's a literary genre, okay, in which the story illustrates its different elements. Okay. And nonfiction, it can be based on facts. Okay. Thank you, Kyle. Now open your book on page 34. We are to answer 4 questions about the flowers in the crypt. Okay, you can access the questions on page 38 and 39. But I can show you in the PPT, okay, the questions that you need to answer about the story. First one is, ayan, kindly discuss or be sure to share the grandfather's life from his youth up to the time he got married. And number two, the narrator of the story, the granddaughter of Ezekiel, said that it was almost inevitable that Remedios would come along. Why does she say this? Ah, bakit nawala? Okay, number three and number four question. Yeah, after her grandfather slipped into a coma, the narrator shares that Lolo was a shell and so was I. Explain why the narrator believes this. And number four, the story concludes with the narrator joining her family to pray for her grandfather's soul, discuss the events that led to the narrator's change of heart toward her grandfather. So in number one, we have to take note of the grandfather's life from being a kid up to the time he got married. Second, we'll try to determine why the granddaughter said this line. It was almost inevitable that the Medes would come along. And in number three, okay, we will try to explain why the narrator said that his Lola was a shell and so was her. And number four, okay, we'll try to find out okay, what influenced the narrator to have a change of heart towards her grandfather. Okay, so let's read the story now. Flowers in the Crypt. So page 34. Now this Flowers in the Crypt is an example of a creative nonfiction. Okay, if we have already a hypertext poem entitled Daddy Like Kiss with a Heart, another 21st century literary genre is creative nonfiction. Please read the introduction. Ahmad.
Flowers in the Crypt by Caterina Garcia Dario. The woman in the photos was not there
Okay,
when Lolo
Ahmad.
died.
Intro first. Exploring text and context.
I
Sorry. Okay.
read Flowers in the Crypt by Caterina Garcia Dario, a work of creative nonfiction. Lee Gutkind defines creative nonfiction as a literary work that can be an essay, a journal article, a research paper, a memoir, or a poem. It can be personal or not, or it can be all of these. The words creative and nonfiction describe the form. The word creative refers to the use of literary craft, the techniques fiction writers, playwrights, and poets employ to present nonfiction, factually accurate prose about real people and events in a compelling, vivid, dramatic manner. The goal is to make nonfiction stories read like fiction so that your readers are as enthralled by fact as they are by fantasy.
Okay, thank you, Ahmad. All right, can you please underline or highlight the following important ideas about creative nonfiction? Lee Gutkind defines creative nonfiction as a literary work, and examples of creative nonfiction are as follows. It can be an essay, a journal article, a research paper, a memoir, or a poem. Okay, and then the word creative refers to the use of literary craft, the techniques, the styles of fiction writers, playwrights, or playwrights are those who are expert in writing plays, and then poets. Okay, nonfiction, yeah, factually accurate prose about real people and events in a compelling, vivid, dramatic manner. Now, I know you usually watch Rated K and Kapuso Mo, Jessica Soho, even The Investigador, diba? Okay, these are magazine shows. Magazine shows in television, and they fall under creative nonfiction. When they present details or facts, they do it in a dramatic way or in a very creative way. Yun ang creative nonfiction. You do not just say the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, the how, okay, per se, okay, but you think of a dramatic way or creative way to present these five W's in one age. So you can catch the attention of the reader or the viewers. Okay, so Flowers in the Crypt falls under this genre. Okay. Thank you, Ahmad. Now let's have Princess read the first paragraph.
The woman in the photos was not there when Lola died. She was not there when they wrapped up his body and wheeled him to the morgue, nor was she at his wake when each of us bent to kiss his cold, pallid forehead. On the day the oven lit up, I expected her to burst through the door, press her face against the glass divider, and weep while Lola turned into ash. But the funeral went by along with the rosaries and novenas, plates of puto and pandesal, the ornate flower arrangement embellished with long silk ribbons that read, "Our deepest condolences to the Garcia family." I waited for her. I imagined her wearing the silver cocktail dress that we found under Lola's bed. I remember how Lola whipped out her scissors and cut it until it was nothing more but a pile of shredded.
Satin. Okay. Now, so thank you, Princess. So the first paragraph is already intense. The narrator, who happens to be the granddaughter, is waiting for someone. She's waiting for a woman named Remedios to appear in his Lolo's wake. Okay. Let's see what's the connection of Remedios to the family. Okay. Now let's see. For last 1 minute, let's have paragraph 2. John Clarence.
I did not know about Remedios. That was her name. I found out soon after because Lolo hid her very well. She was invisible during our beach trips when he would prop me on his shoulders and carry me along the shore. He would tell me all his stories about his hometown, his adventures in the war, my beautiful Lola, and how much he loved her. He told me neither of the house and Auntie Paula and the cousins I've never met. And when I learned them through the cigarettes and coffee my mother and her sisters meditated over, I felt Remedios creep up on me like a ghost. I did not know if Lolo really loved us, and I was not sure if he really knew how.
Okay, so paragraph 2, continuation of the granddaughter's narration about her Lolo, and kindly underline this one. Okay. In paragraph 2, it illustrated how Lolo spent time with her granddaughter, and the granddaughter recalled her happy moments with with her Lolo. But in this paragraph, she raised two questions. The first one is, my and yan, he would tell me all his stories about his hometown, his adventures in the war, my beautiful Lola, and how much he loved her. Okay. And then last line, I felt Remedios creep up on me like a ghost. I did not know if Lola really loved us, and I was not sure if he really knew how. From the second paragraph, I'm pretty sure you have already an idea who Remedios was in the life of the Garcia family. So we'll discuss more about the issue, the conflict in the Garcia family next meeting. Next meeting, be sure you have already the answers in the 4 questions, huh? Okay. So if in Apple on the Wall, we enjoyed the strictness, okay, the kind of authoritative attitude of the father towards the son. Okay, if up on the wall we learned that yes, they may discipline us, still they are our fathers and we need to respect them. Let us see, okay, if the so-called man in the house in the second story, the lolo, should also be respected. Okay. Let us see what was the conflict in his family, in which the granddaughter nearly lost her respect towards her lolo. Okay, so see you next meeting, grade 11, STEM 2. Bye, everyone.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless po.
Bye.
Thank you po.